This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Hey guys, how's it going? Ricky here from the Onside Kick, along with the Mark Weber.
Dub them E's.
And if you're looking at the YouTube channel, you may be saying, hey guys, this podcast is a little different. It's because it's a video cast. If you're on the SoundCloud, this is just a normal podcast for you from the Onside Kick.
If you're on iTunes.
Or if you're on iTunes, this is just a normal podcast. Me and Mark decided we're going to do what we usually do around this time. We're done with our previews. Let's do a fantasy football draft. Kind of talk a little football while we go through a draft. Joined a random league, and for those of you our subscribers on YouTube, we said, hey, what the hell? Why not give you guys the somewhat limited screen capture? You can't get the full screen, but that's just us working with our materials. And I mean, we're sitting here almost just under 30 minutes or 30 seconds to go until our draft. And you said before we started, Mark, that you're like, oh, good. I like that we're in the middle. I disagree with you. I wish we were either the last or the first pick.
I don't like the double pick.
I love the double pick.
Requires you to then wait a full 2 rounds.
But then you can go bam, bam. Or even better, the second pick or the ninth pick in this case, where you get that like 2-pick bend in between.
The thing I don't like about that is you miss all the runs. You miss once everybody starts taking those quarterbacks, and you're sitting there and going, "Great." Now
is this only because you were the first pick in our league that we do personally last year? And
I'm
lost?
Always the first pick. Where
I got the last pick, and who was? I'm just saying on record, who was the league champion? This guy.
No,
this guy right here.
I don't know what it is. My luck is amazing. I am always.
Well, you took
the
AP
first
last
pick.
year.
Well, I know. I'm just talking about in draft, in random drafts, and I will literally have it drawn out of hats, and I will always get the first pick. Always get the first pick.
Well, that's how we did it last year, and you got the first one. But as we're the seventh pick, so we got some time into this one, and I gotta say this: the biggest thing for me with fantasy football,
Antonio Brown, number 1 overall.
And this is not a mock draft, guys. This is like a live league that we joined.
Someone actually thought that was a good idea.
And I say that because Le'Veon Bell is suggested as the top ESPN guy, but he's suspended for the first few games.
It doesn't make sense
that he's good.
Why it's number 1.
I get that he's good, but why would you do that? And why are you taking... Okay, here's the thing.
I think it's just to punish people who don't actually show up to the draft. Like, hey, now you got Le'Veon Bell.
I
He's
get it. I'm
sorry.
talking a bigger thing, and I say this because Russell Wilson went 3rd in this draft. Guys, this is Ricky pro tip number 1. If you are drafting in fantasy leagues, you got to go running back. You just got it. Your first 2 picks, no matter where it is, running back, because those are the positions that are going to fuel your fantasy football team and get you the most points. Because you play 2 of them, 2, maybe 3 of them, if you put one in the flex a game or a week.
I do like the idea of being able to get that best wide receiver, though. If he's there, if Demaryius Thomas is there.
Oh, we're going beast mode all day, every day, Mark.
Yeah, that's not a question. But if like that top guys, like in days of past, when it was Calvin Johnson, like if he's sitting there and you're like number 10,
okay, like
you got to take Calvin Johnson.
And I say this because I'm going to let you guys into a little bit of insight from me and Mark's
Le'Veon Bell, he went
personal league. We have a guy in our league, Mark, who. Former league champion when we had a dismal 6-man league. This is before you joined, before I even knew you. And no matter where he is in the first round, he'll always draft either Drew Brees or Peyton Manning. Always. Those are his 2 quarterbacks. He'll get one of them. And I always go, okay, I get it because you're helping me out. But you're helping me out because I can get my running back. But you got to go running back. Unless you're going to go wide receiver, like you said, if Calvin Johnson's there and you're sitting there, it's like, okay, I either got Calvin Johnson, Matt Forte, or C.J. Anderson. I'm going to go with Calvin Johnson in that case.
I tried to do the quarterback first before. I tried to do it one time when I had Aaron Rodgers available.
It doesn't work.
It didn't work out very well.
The only time I've seen it work is we had old podcasting friend Dave Oster. He drafted Tom Brady first, but later got Randy Moss. That was the year that the Patriots went undefeated until the Super Bowl. He won the league because those two together just set all kinds of just fantasy points. We're on the clock again.
Right here.
Do you want I say DeMarco.
I would say I would go with Matt Forte. Personally.
Why over DeMarco?
Because Matt Forte, receiving threat, and aren't we all terrified of Chip Kelly right now? Aren't we terrified that's going to fall apart?
But DeMarco's going to run that offense.
I don't know. Here's the thing, though. Bad quarterback play. I know you don't like Jay Cutler, but bad quarterback play.
Both of them have bad quarterback play.
People are going to fill that box. We get to play in Chicago a Ndamukong Suh, Nick Fairley list.
Okay. I mean, we'll go Matt Forte, but if it was me, I'm picking DeMarco Murray all day because, I mean, he's going to carry that team. See, DeMarco goes right after us.
I don't trust it.
DeMarco goes right after us. I mean, I'm saying he ain't going to be around, but if he's around for this 27th pick coming up, we're taking Odell, right? Odell just won.
See, here's my thing about Odell Beckham Jr. He is a highlight reel.
Or do we take a tight end next?
He's not actually the best wide receiver. I think he's overvalued in fantasy football.
Okay.
People are drafting him in like the second round, and you're sitting there going, okay, he's good.
I will say this. He may be a little overvalued, but here's the thing, and I say this as a Odell Beckham owner last year. He went undrafted last year in our league, which is respectable because he was injured coming out of, I want to say, didn't he come out of LSU or something? See, exactly.
I don't know.
Don't even know where he came out of, and he's a great wide receiver. But he comes out of LSU, and it was the week before he was coming back, and I'm sitting there on waiver Tuesday, and I'm going, screw it. I'll go ahead and pick him up.
I'll get Odell Beckham. That's fine.
Best pickup. One of the two best moves I made last year. The other one, trading Jimmy Graham for Rob Gronkowski at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Best trade I ever made. Just Graham Gronk straight up last year.
Gronk. Oh. I love when Alshon Jeffrey went off, and like nobody would have drafted him, and I just kind of picked him up in a very, very late round, just stashed him in the back of my bench, and just like one day put him in there, and just
this was his rookie season.
My wide receivers were amazing. 'Cause I might have had Brandon Marshall too that year.
Oh, they were a lethal there was one league that I did last year where I'm like Marshall and Alshon were my 1-2 pick, just because I wanted to see how it would work.
Yeah.
Having both of them on team. It didn't go that well because I didn't get the running backs I would have liked. But, I mean, hey, they scored points.
Yeah, you get touchdowns. That's always good. That is always good.
Now, are we thinking wide receiver next? Or are we looking at actually, Marcus Mariota, 20th?
Oh, yeah. Somebody thought that was a good idea.
I will say this, because Mariota's off the board, if he's there in like maybe the second to last round, I'll take Jameis.
I wouldn't.
Like a last round kind of guy, maybe if you want to keep a third quarterback
I'll take a second kicker.
Over famous Jameis?
Yeah, I'm not going to take famous Jameis. Why am I going to do that?
Now, are we going to go Jimmy Graham if he's available and just get a good tight end early?
No. As much as I think that, remember about the Seahawks, they throw the ball less than any other team in the NFL.
Yeah, but he's the only one they're going to throw to.
They have Marshawn
I want to
Lynch.
say Zach Miller. Was he the tight end last year?
They've made their mistake when it comes to not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
We can go with Houston's number one, DeAndre Hopkins.
I would go with Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson. And that's coming from Bears fans saying that.
I've seen Jordy Nelson catch a lot of touchdowns.
Over Demarius?
You know how I feel about Peyton Manning this year.
I know. You think the Broncos are on the decline.
I do. I think the Broncos are going to fall off very soon and their career's over.
Not
that he's bad, but he's old as hell. He's about 40.
Hey, I mean, it's kind of hard to go against the guy.
Remember because
he is good.
The last 40-year-old quarterback. We had this conversation just last week, Ricky. Who
Brett
was the last
Favre.
40-year-old quarterback, and what happened to Brett Favre?
Well, he
threw an interception and then got destroyed.
He broke because of Bounty Gate, but he still had a great regular season. That's all fantasy football is, the regular season.
Mm-hmm. No, but he was destroyed.
Oh, Graham did go off, and then boom, the tight end. Who's the next best tight end?
We're not taking a tight end right now.
No, I know, but I just want to see who's the next best one.
Greg Olsen.
We got to take Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen, actually. I think that's a good idea. I love Greg Olsen.
I'm wondering. See, Julius Thomas, he's 81
a respectable
overall.
81.
And see, okay,
People are going to be really disappointed when they take Julius Thomas.
Julius Thomas. I was just going to ask, do you draft him at all?
You don't.
You don't think Blake Bortles is going to be comfortable with him?
I would rather have... Well, Blake Bortles isn't a very good quarterback, as we saw from last year. I would rather have Zach Ertz out there.
Zach Ertz?
Because at least with Chip Kelly's offense, you have no idea what's going to happen. With the Jaguars' offense, we pretty much know nothing's going to happen. So that's what I think.
So unless he goes, we're taking Jordy Nelson over Julio and A.J. Green?
I would say so.
Over
Aaron Rodgers,
Julio?
Man. Aaron Rodgers. If you really...
Let me see some. I just want to see quarterbacks. Big Ben. So you say he's on the decline, though.
I said some people say he's on the decline.
We got to draft Jimmy Garoppolo. That's who we got to get.
Okay, I don't care. Yeah, sure, why not?
No,
Let's draft him. He's going to replace Tom Brady this year.
We'll take Jordy Nelson if I can get back up there.
We got a minute, so I think we're good.
Yeah, we'll take Jordy. But yet again, this is me listening to Mark. If I was on my own, I would have taken Julio. However, the Atlanta Falcons this year...
Scary.
Are they going to be good or bad, though? Because, I mean, you got Matt Ryan, Julio, Roddy White. Cool, the offense is set. You don't have Steven Jackson, so that's a plus in the backfield.
Yeah, that
big
defense
questions
isn't
at
very
defense,
good.
though.
And is that offense going to have the opportunity to be on the field that much? We know Aaron Rodgers doesn't matter if he's on the field. He just slings it.
The offense is back on the field because the defense let up an easy score.
Yeah, and then they're tired. Julio's not going to be running up and down all day.
Part of me feels like Dan Quinn's going to be able to say, hey, this is what we want. The only thing is...
It's going to take a couple years.
The only thing is, and I know we had a YouTube comment, I can't remember who it was from, it was on our NFC South podcast, where I was talking to him about just the cornerbacks that they have, and really all they got is Trufant. They got Desmond Trufant. That's about it. That's all the corners they got.
And he's a good corner.
Would you go Julio or Alshon?
Julio.
Or would you go Green Bay and go Randall Cobb? The greater of the two
We are Green Bay. No, yeah, let's go with Julio now. As much as I love Alshon Jeffrey, John Fox likes to run the ball.
Yeah, we got both of our wide receivers on.
We're set. We went against what Ricky said, basically. Ricky's like all into getting your... We did get 2 running backs.
We got our running backs.
Ricky's all about the running backs, and then we got
here's what I'm thinking coming up next. Mark Ingram is not going to be there with our next pick.
We don't want him anyways.
I'm thinking maybe Alfred Morris if he's there. If not that, we can go Melvin Gordon. I would like Melvin Gordon as our third.
I'm willing to take that risk.
I think Melvin Gordon's going to be good, though.
He's a rookie, so you always got to be careful with rookies.
I always see if you're new to Most Valuable Podcast, the Onside Kick, if you listened to us last year during fantasy football time, I'm a big rookie guy. I usually have that one rookie that I'm looking to just snipe at the draft. Like I have my list of like, okay, these 3 rookies. If I get one of them, I'll be happy.
And
kind of a
it's
thing.
like Ricky wants 2 of the rookie quarterbacks. He's like, I just want one of them.
Well,
I want to see what happens.
Well, let's put it this way. My biggest example is Adrian Peterson, the Vikings one, not the Bears one, was one of those rookies during his rookie season. I was laughed at my draft. I said, okay, I'm taking Adrian Peterson. Everyone laughed and was like, from the Bears? It's like, no, from the Vikings, from my Minnesota Vikings. Why would I draft a Bear running back?
Because they're good.
And he torched that season.
They're good.
I remember that it was that Bears-Vikings game where he went off for like 3 touchdowns. Kid I was playing at the time because we were in high school.
Cried.
He basically did. I'm like, hey, man, AP's got his 3rd today. I think he had over 300 yards in that one, too.
3 tutties. Give them 3 tutties.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good game. But, I mean, here's an interesting one for you. Carlos Hyde. How's he going to do this season?
Well, I know you don't trust anything about San Francisco.
No, and San Fran, you can check out my Niners preview for that.
Here's the thing about San Francisco to remember. They are the second least team to throw the ball. They throw the ball the second least. So someone's running it, and it's not going to be Frank Gore.
Well, Frank Gore's in Indy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be Frank Gore, so someone's got to run it. Why not Carlos Hyde?
I don't even know any of the running backs on there. Do they have Marcus Lattimore still? The guy that they stashed?
I think they got rid of him. They also, I think, got rid of LaMichael James, who I wanted them to use so badly. I loved LaMichael James when he was a Duck.
They
could have used him so well with Colin Kaepernick. They really could have. It would have been so great, such a perfect combination. It would have been college football.
I watched a video today on YouTube of, I showed you one of them. That's a series of, I guess it's from NFL Network, called the NFL.
Yeah.
And one of them was, what if Colin Kaepernick was drafted by the Bengals? And the whole
Instead of Andy Dalton?
Well, the whole thing was apparently Jay Gruden was the guy who said, hey, don't draft Kaepernick. Don't draft him. I want you to draft Dalton. This scenario was, what if the GM didn't listen to Jay Gruden and said, screw it, we're going to draft Kaepernick. And Dalton ended up falling to, I think it was the Chiefs at that time, because then the 49ers wouldn't have gone Dalton, I guess, in that scenario. They would have went someone else. Alex Smith would have been the starter for them. And I saw it and I was like, that's one of those where you go, I wonder what would happen if it went that way.
Would have been very bad for both of their careers, I think.
Well, that's not
an offense for Colin Kaepernick.
The whole thing I think of is if the GM of the Bengals at the time, and I don't know his name because I'm not a Bengals fan, if he said, screw it, we're taking Colin Kaepernick, it would basically be what we're seeing in Washington right now. Just take out Jay Gruden and put in Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, like I said, it's just the reason Colin Kaepernick did so well with John Harbaugh is because John Harbaugh limited what he could do and then just let him make plays.
Because the whole thing that you got to remember, Colin Kaepernick he had all the physical tools, could run and throw, but he wasn't as polished.
Yeah.
He needed to sit for a year, which he did in San Fran. Andy Dalton didn't have the explosiveness as Cap.
He was a little bit
but
more
he was
reliable.
polished coming out of TCU, and that's why Jay Gruden liked him. And if Kaepernick had to sit a year in Cincinnati, guess who would have been their quarterback?
No one.
Bruce Grodkowski.
Ugh.
I think that's how you say his last name.
Ugh.
Would have been the backup for most teams throughout his career.
Gross.
I think he was a backup to Peyton Manning at one time.
Who
in
hasn't
Indy.
been a backup to Peyton Manning? They just shuffle those guys in and out. No, I mean, that would have been very bad for both their careers. I think even Andy Dalton, I don't think would have been that great in the Kansas City of...
he ended up in Kansas City in this.
Yeah,
and then Alex
Kansas City
Smith never gets traded to Kansas City in this scenario. He stays with Harbaugh.
He wouldn't have gotten traded, but who knows what would have happened in that case, because Harbaugh was really quick to get rid of him.
Looks like in our draft, we may just take Melvin Gordon.
He might be sitting there. He might be our guy.
I hope so. I hope he's there. Otherwise, I'm looking at, unless he already went, because I haven't been looking at it, Amari Cooper. He's another rookie
he's still available.
I really want
57.
Him, Cooper, and when I say him, I mean Gordon. Him, Cooper, Todd Gurley's going to be an interesting one, but I don't know if I would jump on Gurley.
Kind of nervous about him.
Only because Trey Mason is ahead of him. But yeah, Cooper and Gordon are like my main two where it's like, I got to have those. Maybe Kevin White later, but at the same time, like you said, John Fox likes to run the ball.
Yeah, he does. And shin splints. Don't forget about them shin splints.
Yeah.
They're really causing a lot of problems for Kevin White right now. I don't quite understand it.
No, they just took
a lot of trouble.
They just took your boy Benjamin.
He was my big sleeper last year.
Kelvin Benjamin.
It was all about Kelvin Benjamin.
Actually, one thing we should look at.
We don't need a quarterback.
Maybe we go quarterback at the 54th pick.
No, we don't need that.
Phillip Rivers. We can wait and get Phillip.
So many of these guys have drafted quarterbacks.
Dude, Hall of Fame game. We got to wait for Teddy.
Teddy Bridgewater.
We're just going to take Teddy.
Well, he threw what, about 6 passes?
5 for 6.
Yeah.
He went 5 for 6, and his only big mistake was that miss shuffle pass or miss whatever to Wallace. So
Super Bowl.
We're going to wait and take the reigning MVP. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said reigning. He didn't win it last year.
Well, we can retrograde that and give it back to him.
Because we said MVP, I'm going to bring something up while we're waiting. Oh, we're actually on the clock.
Yeah, we didn't make our pick yet, so maybe we want to pick.
Maybe we want to do that. Maybe we want to.
Otherwise, we're going to have DeAndre Hopkins on this team. Yeah. I'm not interested in that.
There we'll go. We'll take Melvin Gordon. Now I'm going to throw this out to you. I was watching the Dan Patrick show today, and they were talking about MVP odds.
Yes,
and I am going to ask you the same question that they threw out for their poll question today.
Okay.
The top 2 odds to win the MVP: Aaron Rodgers,
yes,
Andrew Luck.
Okay.
If I took Luck and Rodgers, and said, I will take those two, you get the field, would you take that bet? Would you take the field over Luck and Rodgers to win the MVP? So anyone other than those two, would you take them to win the MVP over Luck or Rodgers?
Because what I'm sitting here thinking is Tom Brady could win.
Tom Brady's like a 50 to 1.
Tom Brady can always win.
And you could pull up the MVP odds. You have that computer in front of you.
I do. I guess
That's
I'll
not
do that.
That's not recording our draft room right now.
But I'm just trying to think of off the top of my head who else I think could
AP
win.
I think was third, tied with a couple others.
It's never going to
Tom
not
Brady.
be a quarterback.
Tom Brady I think was a 50 to 1 odd.
The reason I say Tom Brady is because it's the Patriots. They're always there.
Well, here's the big thing that they mentioned.
And if they go 0-4,
okay,
because of
Tom
Jimmy
Brady was a
Garoppolo,
20
they
to
can
1
come back.
odd.
They can
But
drive
look at
it
that.
crazy.
A 12 to 1 odd was J.J. Watt and AP.
Interesting. I don't trust anybody who's not a quarterback to ever win an MVP in this passing NFL.
Here's the thing that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason AP won the MVP when he did was he almost broke the rushing record, and he had a huge Week 17.
And we got to remember they didn't want to give him the other one,
the most
comeback,
improved,
because they needed to give that to Peyton Manning.
So, I mean, he got the MVP.
We're up, by the way.
J.J. Watt, what are we going to do? Wide receiver? We're going to go... we're going to wait on Teddy for the quarterback.
Yeah, we don't need a quarterback right now.
Edelman? No, not Edelman.
No, I don't trust it.
Sammy Watkins.
Don't trust that either.
I don't know.
Do we want DeAndre Hopkins? He is default number 1 wide receiver. I know I just made fun of him.
No, I don't want DeAndre. I'm thinking, unless we go Jonathan Stewart and just stack on running backs early. Or Carlos Hyde, because he's the main guy in San Fran.
Someone's got to run it.
Someone's got to run it, and we need running backs. I'm actually looking at our bye weeks, and
I think
we got two. We got Gordon and Hyde are both week 10.
Mm-hmm.
Forte's a week 7. Lynch is a week 9.
That's right.
So we're pretty good.
As long as you get them points.
Yeah, we're pretty good. So we can go like wide receiver next.
Mm-hmm. So
back to our MVP talk.
Yeah,
though.
to answer the question, I probably would not take the field. I would,
and I only said that because of AP. And I'm just gonna list off for you guys, the listeners and viewers. Here's the top 10. The number 1, A-Rod is a 5 to 1. Luck's a 7 to 1. AP and J.J. Watt are 12 to 1s. Then Peyton Manning 16 to 1, and our 20 to 1s are Le'Veon Bell, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Jamal Charles, Ben Roethlisberger, and Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Odell Beckham, a 25 to 1.
And then you just get a bunch of wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, with Eddie Lacy, Marshawn Lynch in there. Phillip Rivers, 33 to 1. MVP-like season for the Rivers, man.
You know, they're going to have a good season, but Melvin Gordon's going to be a big part of it.
See, and here's another reason why I take the field. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm. If one of them can win the Super Bowl.
I mean, if Manning comes out and has a Brett Favre-like season without the interceptions, MVP.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like
Tom Brady, if he plays with a chip on his shoulder, like some people say he will because of Deflategate, which I don't think Tom Brady needs a chip on his shoulder to come out and play.
He's been sitting with that I was drafted in the 6th round chip on his shoulder all his career.
Well, that's why he doesn't want Garoppolo to start.
He doesn't need more chips.
That's why he doesn't want Garoppolo to start.
The thing I will say, and I know this isn't how it's supposed to work, but if Peyton Manning, like week 14, is like, hey guys, I think I'm done after this season, and they're sitting there, like 10 wins or something like that, and he says he's gonna call it a career. He's going to win the MVP. You know he's going to win the MVP.
That reminds me, you know who called it a career?
Who's that?
Steve Smith.
Oh, that's
calling it. He said after he's Derek Jetering it.
Yeah.
He's saying, hey guys, I'm done after the year.
You want
so with me, I'm saying if we can, we draft him because he's going to have an MVP-like season.
Hopefully.
He's going out on top, baby.
I would hope so. I like Steve Smith.
I do too. And the reason why he said was he's basically saying it's because of family. I think it's also because the Ravens aren't going. Like, if the Ravens were constant Super Bowl contenders, he may stay. But after 15 years,
he's had quite a career, yeah.
And they just got a new offensive coordinator, Mark Trestman, to where he's probably like, you know what? I'll give it one more. If not, fuck it.
He doesn't want to really learn the new playbook, so he's just going to go out there, run some routes, and he'll be good.
You know what? Just give me the same thing Brandon had, fly routes.
Here's the thing. He's actually really smart about this. Because what do we know about Mark Trestman? First year is really good. Second year is okay. Third year, if he gets it, miserable. So this is the only year to stay there because it's going to go downhill from here.
Here's the thing, and this goes back to our draft really quick. This next pick at 67.
Okay.
Do we go tight end? I have him up there.
For Martellus Bennett? Is that who you want?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
I like Martellus Bennett.
I feel like we got to plan out when we're going to get a tight end sooner because our pick's coming up, and I'm looking. We don't have a quarterback. Well, quarterback we know. We're going to go, unless we want to wait for Kyle Rudolph and go Rudolph Bridge.
If you're going to wait for somebody, my suggestion would be
Austin Seraphim-Jenkins.
He's gonna,
I like how you pause. You're like, I'm going to let Ricky say that name.
I don't like his name. I can never pronounce it correctly.
Here's a tight end that I'm going to ask you about.
Yeah.
Antonio Gates. I think he's not injured. He's suspended the first 4 games or 2 games. I think it's the first 4.
Knowing the NFL, it's probably like 1.
No, it's multiple.
Got PEDs, we're going to just give you a little bit.
Did you draft him as your tight end even though he's missing a couple games?
No, I don't.
Or is it the same as like Le'Veon Bell, Tom Brady?
Yeah, I mean, I would take like an Owen Daniels or something before Antonio Gates, which I know might surprise some people. They might not be into that. But it's just those 4 games are going to make a big deal when it comes to a tight end.
Do you think Larry Donald's going to be a bust this year?
I don't think he'll be a bust because he's being taken at like the end of the draft. I mean,
he's in the 200s. Larry Donald to me and Dwayne Allen are kind of like those, hey man, they did really good last year. We're going to draft them a little bit higher. Because last year they were waiver wire pickups.
And I had Donald for a little bit.
Yeah, you did. I think I had Allen for like a week or 2, and then he fell off.
Yeah.
Delaney Walker was injured last year, right? Or was it 2 years ago where he was injured? I want to say it was last year. He got injured. So tight ends to me, I always try to grab Graham or Gronk.
If you can grab, but the thing is, if you can't grab one of those guys, it doesn't matter.
Like I think in my
you're just getting like 3 points out of these guys.
I think because I had the double pick, I went running back and then Graham because I'm
you
like,
might
screw
have
it.
like Martellus Bennett might have a week where he scores like 2 touchdowns.
Do we take Jordan Cameron with Tannehill thrown to him now?
We do love that Tannehill, man.
We do love the Tannehills.
Yeah.
We're huge Tannehill fans.
Yeah, we are. I just think like with tight ends, you can pretty much, if you don't get one of the top 2 guys, you can pretty much just wait.
So what are we doing? We're going to go running back. We're going to go wide receiver.
How many wide receivers and how many running backs do we have?
Running backs were 4. Wide receivers were 3. That's our entire team.
Because, well, that's good. That's all we need.
Unless we want to go Amari Cooper. He's not anything on a buyer. I mean, he's coming up. Do you think he's going to be there at 74?
No, I think someone probably will draft him. It's just that it's Oakland. It's okay. They're not going to win very many games. But maybe that means garbage time minutes.
Yeah, but he's going to be the main. Or Andre Johnson in Indy.
No, I don't. The thing about Andre Johnson
Brandon Marshall.
Andrew Luck has too many
And we
options.
only got 43 seconds left.
I do like Brandon Marshall. I like Brandon Marshall.
Or Jeremy Maclin.
Our best option, even though I think we might be dropping a little low for it,
is Martellus.
I was going to say Brandon Marshall. Because Ryan Fitzpatrick is a much better quarterback than Geno Smith.
So you want to go? You want to go Brandon?
Yeah,
we're going.
He got
Brandon.
punched in the face, guys.
What? Geno Smith
punched in the face, and his face
not just
shattered.
Not just punched. He got sucker-punched.
He got decked. And you know what's good about it?
I wish
he owed him money.
I wish I wouldn't have seen that though, because my first instinct was, here's how the conversation probably went. Geno Smith arguing with the defense. What are you talking about, man? I can totally predict the blindside blitz coming at me. Then across the room, oh yeah, he turns, popped in the face.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to happen so badly.
Really?
Just them making fun of him not being able to be aware of blitzes and someone proving it by just jacking him in the face.
They were just doing the Jets a favor, really, saying, hey guys, this is not a good quarterback.
They want to win games. So, I mean...
And the Harvard graduate has won some games before.
Yeah, but he throws a lot of pick sixes, man.
He does, but so does Geno Smith.
We could take Amari Cooper with the 74th.
I'll take it. All right.
And he's there. Cool. We get one of my
wide receivers.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? If they're going to score us points, I mean, we just have running backs and wide receivers at this point.
Yeah, that's all we need.
When do we take a defense? Because here's the big question, and I ask this every year.
Yeah.
What's the round that you usually think I should take a defense?
Usually when I have all of my running backs and my wide receivers set.
Mm-hmm. Which we do.
I probably have not drafted a quarterback yet.
So right on par with what we're doing.
Yeah. If I can get one of my a backup running back and a backup wide receiver, I'm happy with. Then I probably will just draft the defense if I'm the first person to do it.
We have a few defenses already off the board.
Yeah, if I'm the first person to draft a defense, I will draft it fairly early. Otherwise, I will wait towards the end.
And I love how we're not using our insider recommendations at all.
Nice.
Forgot we had that.
Yeah, that's my thing. If you aren't getting like a top 2 defense, much like the tight ends, you can wait.
The top defense right now is the Rams.
Yeah, we can wait on the Rams for a while. And I'm not just saying that because they're ranked 133rd. I'm saying it because there's not that much of a difference between the Rams, the Broncos, the Dolphins, the Ravens.
The Browns.
They're all basically the same level. You're going to get your same, 5 points out of them.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, do we just keep drafting? Do we go tight end now?
We BPA. What's the...
Coming up, because Martellus is off.
Let's look at the quarterbacks just because I'm curious. Who's there?
Oh, Cam Newton. If Cam Newton's available, we gotta go with Superman. We even got Tannehill, Rivers, Stafford still available.
Mm-hmm.
Do we go Sam Bradford?
No.
Apparently he looks, and I love the criticism that anything you watch, NBC Sports, Fox Sports 1, ESPN, they all say, well, you know what? They're saying he looks really good in practice, but he's not getting hit yet.
Yeah.
He's not getting hit yet.
He's got that red shirt on.
Yeah, let's see what happens. And Bradford even said it. Whoa, guys, let's see what happens when you never know until you take that first
No one
hit.
ever doubted Bradford's abilities. They doubted his ability to stay on the field.
Do we take famous Jameis?
No. I've already answered this question. We do not take famous Jameis. We will take a second kicker before we take him.
I say if we get Cam Newton, we take Garoppolo for the first 2 games. Just in case he does good against Pittsburgh.
Oh, well,
and then we can put him in
have
week
that
2.
bye covered. Technically. We would technically have that bye covered.
What?
Because Cam Newton has a week 5 bye.
Yeah,
and
but
Jimmy Garoppolo will play in week 5.
No, he won't.
Yeah,
Brady will be back by then.
No, because the
that's
Patriots
right. They
have a week
4
bye.
bye. That's right. But that's a Dallas game. I say we go Cam unless this guy takes him. If not, we go Tannehill. So we're going Newton or Tannehill.
About Cam Newton. We'll take both of them. You know how I feel about both these guys. I love them both.
Now, I say our backup is obviously Jay Cutler. That's our backup.
The thing about Jay Cutler, if you can get the matchups right in your bye week, you can get some of those because he's always going to have a week or 2 where he throws 3-4 touchdowns.
I'm shaking my head. You guys can see me shaking my head.
If you can line it up to where he plays a bad defense,
we're going to take Cam.
Boom. You're good to go.
Did you hear about the scuffle that him and I want to say the guy's name was Nelson got into?
Yeah, he didn't get punched in the face. His jaw
because he knew how to stand up to himself. And I like how Cam, after that, was like, hey, I'm going to talk to the team, let them know I'm a team leader. Yep. But hey, don't sucker punch me in the face. You get what's coming.
Yeah.
It's basically how that went down. You're going to get what's coming because I'm Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Superman.
He's Superman. He's not taking shit.
Do we think tight end next? Do we fill a hole at tight end?
But I just don't think that the next best tight end's that going to be that valuable to us.
Dwayne Allen?
Yeah.
We can wait for... I'd be happy with a Kyle Rudolph even.
I think we're
as our number 1.
I think we're okay for a while.
And we got our main quarterback. The defenses I feel like we can wait on. See, here's a guy, Donta Moncrief.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are saying he could be a diamond in the rough, especially fantasy-wise, because you have Carter, you have Johnson, you have Dorsett, you have T.Y. He is probably the best 4th string, best 5th string on a team because he should be the number 2 wide receiver in Indy.
But what I'm scared about with Indy wide receivers.
Nope, I already made our decision.
What I'm still scared about.
I already made our decision.
Is that the problem is just that Andrew Luck has so many options. It's kind of like Peyton Manning.
I didn't take Moncrief.
And Tom.
Don't worry, I didn't take him.
Good.
I took Steve Smith.
Good choice. But
I said no. I made our decision
with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. They have so many options, and they spread it out. They use all their options. Yeah, you have one week where Wes Welker gets 5 touchdowns, and then you had the next week where he doesn't get the ball.
Did you say Tom Brady and Peyton Manning?
Yeah.
Well, Andrew Luck's his quarterback.
Well, that's what I said. Okay. It's like Andrew.
Okay.
It's like Tom Brady's like.
Now I get what you're saying.
Manning.
I thought you were thinking that
like Nick
Peyton
Foles.
Manning was still on the Colts, which he is not.
He might be.
He's not on the Colts.
He might be.
But I don't know. I may take Moncrief later, but it's just, is he going to get the catch? What?
I've been taking Victor Cruz because he's really late in the draft.
You like the salsa dance.
I like the salsa dance, and he's going to do it again one of these days,
Aren't you Cuban?
I am Cuban.
So you like the salsa dance.
He should get balls thrown to him again. He should be healthy. He should catch touchdowns, right? Right? I think
Maybe.
so.
I mean,
I think he should catch
Eli
touchdowns.
Manning's excited that he's back.
Yeah, he's thrilled. He's loving his life right now. I think Victor Cruz is a solid option.
I know he's
those of
another
you out
rookie, but do you draft Green Beckham?
He plays on Tennessee. Now the thing,
But he's got Mariota throwing to him.
He does.
Hey man, Mariota has not thrown a pick yet.
And the thing about Mariota, he's a first-round talent in fantasy football, according to whoever drafted him.
Here's the thing, and I want to ask you this about Mariota.
Yeah.
Him not throwing a pick yet, and I know this is total hashtag preseason overreaction, but is that more on when you hear that headline, do you think, wow, Mariota's good, or wow, that defense is bad? They can't even pick off a rookie.
I mean, a little bit of that. I think he's smart too.
So
that,
smart.
That definitely plays to his advantage. He's not going to make the dumb mistakes. But much like Sam Bradford, he's not really being hit. So he doesn't have that frantic, oh my God, everybody's coming at me right now. What do I do? Just throw it up. And that was a bad idea. He doesn't have any of those yet. I think Marcus Mariota is going to do just fine this year.
I think he's going to be better than first game of the season, we're all going to see that he was the better choice right now. I'm not saying it as a 5 years down the line.
Won the game, so
I'm just saying
right now.
Titans are going to win that game week 1, and we're all going to say, okay, Titans made the right choice right now.
You know what'd be funny in that game?
What?
And this is one of my
things. They both get injured?
hate it. No, not they both get injured, but that would be kind of funny.
I thought you were going to throw that out there.
Is if it's like a 10-3 victory.
Or
just both of them don't do anything.
And the only touchdown was a defensive touchdown, like a fumble by Jameis Winston.
And it doesn't even have to be that they do that bad, like they throw 5 interceptions. It's just that's a stalemate and like just nothing happens. And we all
they
just
both
sit there
throw no touchdowns.
Okay.
I'll say the only mistake is Winston tries to run and fumbles, and one of the big guys scoops it up and runs it in.
He has everybody coming at him. He goes backwards and falls back like he did in whatever that game was. Was that that was against Oregon?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
What if it was like a 2-0 victory? Just a safety.
Safety.
Whichever quarterback got sacked in the end zone.
I don't know why it was. No, not even a sack. It was because they had too many delayed starts. Too many delayed games. And they just kept going back. They kept going back. It's like when you play Madden and you really want to win.
What are you thinking? We just got our pickup. Devonta Parker's down. It's like I'm seeing a lot of rookies that I want. Like, I mean, Eric Decker, he's not a rookie, but Nelson Aguilar I would take. You have Amir Abdullah I really like. I'm sitting here looking. We have Devonta Parker, but do we really need another? Like, I mean, we need more wide receivers. And
you always need more wide receivers.
We have 4 running backs and 5 wide receivers. No defenses yet.
Well, we don't need one of those because they're not quality.
What do we go with, though? Because we're running out of time. Well, we got 50 seconds. Roddy White, but we already got Julio.
We do. That's
Michael
Floyd.
A
little bit too much of a double dip.
Michael Floyd.
Michael Floyd's a decent option.
I mean, he's injured right now, but I don't think. I think he's scheduled to come back season opener. He's not even one of our starters. Screw it, let's take him. He's the real number 1 in Arizona, right? And I mean, if he's got Carson Palmer throwing to him,
number 1 is always.
I think Fitzy's fallen more into number 2.
Larry Fitzgerald.
I think they're going more towards
number 1 in my heart and my soul.
Tell them, not me.
So, you guys, I don't want you stealing my my pick.
Stealing your boy
when I go and I draft him number 1 overall.
Your boy, Mark.
Larry Fitzgerald. I just want him to win a Super Bowl so badly. He deserves it. He really does.
Does he? Does he deserve it?
Super Bowl. He's been on that team forever, and they just are not at his level.
Oh, crap. We're up again.
Bishop Shanky.
No, we've got 6 wide receivers now. We need a running back, I think.
How many do we have? We have 4 running backs.
Let's take Amir Abdullah. Or do we go backup quarterback?
No, we don't go back. Oh, Ryan Tannehill. I do like Ryan Tannehill. But he's got the same bye as Cam Newton.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I don't know what. I mean, we need a
guess we need
defense
3.
still. We still need a tight end.
Okay.
We do
fine.
still need a tight end. Wow,
What
they're
dip
still there.
for-
Dwayne
No.
Allen is still there.
That's
I
just so
kind of want to
bad.
say we can just wait on the tight ends
Yeah.
and just go. I'll go Amir Abdullah just because I like him.
All right,
Only
if you're into
because
that.
I like. And now we have both of my favorite rookie running backs.
Mhm.
We have Melvin Gordon and Amir. We have my Big Ten. This is my Big Ten team, man.
I wouldn't have done what you did. But
What would you?
I would have taken Trey Mason over the backup running back from Detroit.
Is he really going to be a backup though?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think he will.
Over Joik Bell?
Joik Bell.
Look up the Lions depth chart.
Established.
Look up the Lions depth chart.
Everything changes right now, but we will see what is going on. We'll see what ESPN declares.
Yeah, I just want to see what running backs they have on the. Because I can't even think of what. I know we did the NFC podcast like a month ago,
Yeah, that was
but
a long
I
time
just
ago.
can't remember the running backs at the line. I mean, the Lions. It's a useless roster to me.
Abdullah.
See,
Joik
he's
Bell.
number 2.
Yeah.
And Joik Bell is going to get replaced. He got replaced mid-season by Bush, so he can get replaced by Amir Abdullah.
I just think they got good. Golden Tate, he caught some touchdowns.
Yeah, but he doesn't play running
Megatron
back.
catches touchdowns, but they're catching touchdowns. This is
Yeah,
what
but they
Detroit
need
is.
someone to run
They
the
catch
ball.
touchdowns. They don't run touchdowns in. That's not how they do it. They catch them, Ricky. Megatron.
Unless you're going option reverse to Brandon Marshall, who we got
Yeah.
on our team.
That's right. Weird. Where's that?
And our rushing touchdowns is the same as receiving, but more than passing, right?
Depends on the league.
Okay. Usually it's 4 for passing, 6 for receiving and rushing.
Sure. Most of my leagues.
That usually how it
most
is?
of my leagues have custom scoring.
Okay. I
So
think
I don't
ours
remember.
is standard, whichever. Because that's another thing. I don't know if you guys, I'm going to bring this up only because I don't know if you guys at home deal with this in your fantasy leagues, but we got a few complainers in our league, Mark.
There's always
We got a
gonna-
few
there's
of
always
them.
gonna
Like,
be some.
for example, I said, hey, the draft is going to be this day. Does this work?
Mhm.
Most people go, okay, yeah, sure. Few people, can we move? 7's not going to work. Can we move it up a little bit?
And I feel like we can say who that is since he was on the podcast.
yeah,
last
Slowinski.
week. Yeah.
Our good old
Lions
Lions
guy.
buddy.
The
yeah,
Lions guy. that
Lions guy.
Everybody loved the Lions guy. You know,
gotta
whatever.
have the Lions guy back. No, I love Mike, but we also have the biggest complaint. This gets into a different debate about fantasy football. Last year we had someone in our league. I'm gonna keep his name anonymous right now
Until he comes on the podcast.
until he comes on the podcast. But we went, for those of you at home that are unaware of our personal league, we were abysmal at one time. We had 6 guys at once.
A joke.
Then we moved up to 8, which is
Still a
getting
joke.
there, but still a joke. Then we had 10. Then last year, I said, screw it. We got 2 more guys. That's when we made the jump to 10. Then we had 2 more of your friends say they wanted, so we just went to 12. We got the complaint that 12 is too big of a league.
No.
That 10 is pushing it. 12 is over the line. That was the complaint. That
That's-
12 was too much.
Yeah.
10 was even 8 was golden.
That's the complaint of somebody that does not know football.
how to draft.
Yeah, and just is like, I want to have the big name guys who I've heard Chris Collinsworth say, and that's
Who
all
are we
I
going to
want.
go with? Do we go with our tight end yet? Do we go with our tight end yet? Because
We
Antonio
probably
Gates
should. There's
just
only
won.
3 left, so let's take a tight end. Only 3 spots.
Cameron.
I like Cameron,
Okay.
and then we can probably get Kyle Rudolph too.
And then our backup. We'll get our backup to. Oh no, Tannehill's gone. We're waiting for Teddy. Teddy's our backup then. Unless you want,
Tutties.
unless you want to go Andy Dalton. Want to wait for Dalton?
Ranked below James
I know.
Winston.
It's like I
That's
wasn't
a
gonna
slap
say
in
it.
the
I wasn't
face.
gonna say it.
Where
Jay Cutler, I think, is ranked a little high.
Geno Smith is ranked pretty well. But the thing about Jay Cutler is he's got Alshon Jeffrey and Kevin White. He's got and Martellus Bennett. He's got great options to throw the ball to.
I guess.
And who is the best receiving running back in the entire NFL? Matt Forte.
Matt Ford, I guess. I'm not going to draft him. That's for sure. Do we go
He's
Ryan
got John
Mallett?
Fox.
Is he going to win the job? Does he win the job
no.
in Houston?
Why?
Him or Brian Hoyer?
Why would you drop so far to Ryan Mallett when there are so many starting quarterbacks available to be drafted?
No, I think I actually. You know what? If Carson Palmer's there, he's our
Don't,
backup.
no.
If not Teddy,
I would rather have Teddy.
I think Palmer's going to be good this season.
When was the last time that he was healthy for 16 games?
I think this is going to be the year. I really think this is going to be the year.
You know what else is going to be the year, Ricky? That the Cubs win the World Series.
Low blow, man.
What are we at? 109 years?
We're going to go to the playoffs at least this year.
Well, congrats.
We swept the Giants.
Good job.
I think we were tied with the Giants, and we swept them this past weekend.
The New York Football Giants, by any chance?
No,
or the
San Fran
Francisco
Giants.
Baseball Giants.
The Bay. The Giants by the Bay, not the
we should
frozen.
probably make a pick, though.
Oh, that's right. Who are we going with? Running back, wide receiver?
Oh, no, we already took our tight end. So we're good with that. Is there any chance, hear me out here, that we want to take Shoelace, Denard Robinson, just in case he becomes a quarterback?
No, I took Devonta.
Oh,
we do need a defense. We should go defense next.
Yeah, defense before kicker is a solid idea.
And before backup quarterback. Ravens, Lions.
We don't have a backup quarterback anymore. We don't have room for it. We got 2 picks. No Teddy. And you're forced to take a kicker, which I think is a joke. I would rather they just say don't need a kicker.
So who do we drop after the draft to make room for our backup quarterback? Devonta.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's something we don't have to worry about until week 5.
True. Vikings D.
But you got to play Aaron Rodgers
twice.
That's scary. You also have to. I mean, you do face Megatron. You do face the.
And apparently Trey Waynes is a bust. Let's just start out.
He's a bust. Yeah. Did you see those couple of penalties?
Everyone's been hitting me up about it that he's a bust.
He's a bust.
We go kicker before defense. That's what we do.
Yeah. Kicker injuries are going to be rough this year.
Oh, man. Hey, man. I bring him up again, but our old podcast friend Dave, he had, who's the kicker with the San Diego Chargers? Was it Keating?
Was so great.
Nate Keating when he got injured on the opening kickoff?
Poor Dave.
If you don't know this, Dave is the guy where his team in our league is called the Injured Reserve because he has a big injury every year. He had Tom Brady when he went down. What defense are we going?
You can take your Vikings. That's okay.
Are we? Is there any other defense?
Who else are you going to take?
The Lions? Like how we both
no.
The Packers? They don't even have that good of a D.
Everybody has to throw in the end of the Packers games.
Panthers? Do the Panthers have a good D?
It's the better part of their team, probably.
Let's just go Vikings D. Oh, great. We got to take a kicker.
I still think there's no reason why you should be forced to draft
Well, I know I'm not taking Blair Walsh because he missed that kick in the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
Cut him.
He's a scrub.
Cut him. Preseason overreaction. Mason Crosby's a good pick.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
he's a kicker.
He's going to have a lot of extra points.
No, we got to go Robbie Good as Gold.
He is pretty damn good.
We're going to go Robbie Gold. That's it. Only because Chicago biased, even though I'm a Vikings fan.
Yep. He's really good. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt this year.
Hopefully he does not get hurt.
They're projecting him to get no field goals, no extra points. But 123 points overall. Does anyone else notice that?
I just looked at that.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get a few.
Well, he has to get more than 0. Right?
And that's our team. So because you guys cannot see this, I'm just gonna list off our team really quick. Our starting lineup: Cam Newton at quarterback, Marshawn Lynch, Matt Forte, our 1-2 running backs, Jordy Nelson, Julio Jones are the wide receivers, Jordan Cameron at tight end. Our flex spots, Melvin Gordon. Vikings D, Robbie Gold. And then our bench, Carlos Hyde, Brandon Marshall, Amari Cooper, Steve Smith, Michael Floyd, Amir Abdullah, and Devontae Parker.
Did somebody just draft the injured kicker? Swisham? Swisham's the one who got hurt yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone did.
Someone drafted the hurt. I think it was
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, I think it was an auto pick, but still, it's funny because he's not going to play.
Mr. Irrelevant went to the injured kicker. So,
somebody's got a kicker need.
How do you feel about our team as we wrap up this podcast?
I feel good about him. I definitely do. In some senses, we did unfortunately not get that great of a defense. And Cam Newton's not the best quarterback we could have gotten either. Even though I was happy with getting Cam Newton because of what was available.
Cam Newton's going to be good. I mean, he's a solid pick.
Yeah, the offense just isn't as much to be excited about in Carolina.
Honestly,
as much as I love to claw up. And
honestly, I'm thinking first 2 weeks, unless he really blows us away, we got to go and drop Amir Abdullah
That's what
to get someone.
I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you, Trey Mason.
Well, is Devonta Parker going to be the number 1 in Miami? No, right?
Yeah, I think he probably will. I mean,
because I don't, like I said, wide receivers to me in Miami. You did the Miami preview, so
I did, and I got yelled at for
because you guys you forgot Jarvis Landry, but he's a running back.
Mm-hmm. People are very upset with me.
But no, I'm happy with this team. And another thing we are going to do for you guys is we'll keep you updated on this team. We'll do maybe a weekly video just recapping, hey, this is moves that we made. We lost this game. This is how it went. Kind of give you a recap of how this team does throughout the entire season. I want to thank you guys for...
Before we go, I'm not going to let Dolphins fans yell at us again. You said he's a running back. He's a wide receiver.
Jennings.
No,
that's their number 1.
No, Greg Jennings is not going to be the number 1. Jarvis Landry is a wide receiver.
Well, they got
I'm correcting you on.
They got Kenny
Stills.
He was a running back. I thought he was a running back.
No.
Hey, they have your boy LaMarcus.
They do.
Or LaMichael. They got LaMichael James.
But he's not going to ever play in the NFL.
Their wide receivers are pretty good, though. They got Devontae Parker. Greg Jennings is old, but he can do something.
Can he? I don't know, Ricky. Can he do anything?
Landry's okay, and Kenny Stills is pretty good. Just Stills, Landry, and Devonta is, boom, you got 3 wideouts and then Cameron.
It's good. It's just not exceptional.
No, it's not.
Great. You're not thrilled.
But I'd be happy with that.
You're not sitting here looking like you were looking at Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett out there. Like but
you're still pretty good, and you're saying, okay, I feel comfortable with those wide receivers. Can I sign off now? Is that okay?
Let me think about it. The only thing I do want to say though, before we go,
mention our T-shirt.
We're gonna get to that. The thing that I want to say before I say the thing that you want me to say, Ricky, is that if you guys love this video and you would like to do drafts with us, like a mock draft, we don't want to have too many of these actual drafts. If you want to do some mock drafts with us, let us know.
Hit us up in the comment section.
We're not planning on doing this right now, but if enough people want to, we'll
do some mock drafts.
The onside kick mock draft going. That would be fun. We would love to do that with you guys.
Do another one where we have listeners and fans joining us. And if you were
smart, you're in our fantasy football league, the most valuable podcast one, you would use this as an opportunity to scout the players we like. And you'll steal all of our sleepers.
I didn't even think about that.
You'll steal all of them.
Now say what I want you to say.
All right, Ricky wants me to tell you guys about a certain T-shirt that we're selling. We're selling T-shirts right now.
A T-shirt.
A T-shirt. There's a T-shirt we're selling. We thought about a hoodie. If you really want a hoodie, let us know that below, and then maybe that can happen one of these days. But we thought T-shirt was the way to go. So go to teespring.com/mostvaluablepod. It'll show you the MVP Army T-shirt we got going on. It's got our logo on it and all that. So check it out. If you're interested in it, you can buy it. The way Teespring is set up, we have to have 15 people who say they want it before we start printing them.
We set a goal that we thought, hey, you know what, we can get this, but the minimum is 15. So we get 15 of you guys that say, yeah, sure, I'd like to have this T-shirt. It helps us out. It helps us do better things with the YouTube channel, the podcasts, and you get a bit of MVP swag for yourself.
You get the swag, and I was doing this just so you guys know too. We really want to buy better microphones. Like these microphones are great that we have. We want to be able to do things where we're not stuck at this table. We want to be able to go out and do kind of
we can do
remote type of stuff like that.
Because we get comments all the time where it's like, hey, you know, what do you guys got planned? What new things? We got a lot of ideas. It's just we really don't have the...
We need to be able to get our feet under us for it.
Well, we don't have the equipment right now to do the things we want, and selling these T-shirts and selling them to you guys is one of the ways we're going to be able to give you this kind of swag and then help us out in the process.
It is unfortunately a limited thing right now. As I'm sitting here staring at a counter
21
because the
days.
website stares at me. Yeah, it's 21 days. So it's an exclusive T-shirt. And if you order one and you get your information on there, Ricky and I will write you a little thank you note.
Handwritten, personally handwritten.
Yeah, and Ricky will put some lipstick on and kiss it.
I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon, but that is going to do it for the Onside Kick. I want to thank everyone for either watching this first video cast on the YouTube, listening to it on SoundCloud and iTunes. We love everybody that watches, listens to our videos, and podcast, and we appreciate you guys, our fans. You can follow me on Twitter at Ricky Widmer. Mark is at the with two E's, Mark Weber. Most Valuable Podcast is obviously at Most Valuable Pod. I want to thank you guys for checking out this podcast, and as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.